well, but Putin was wrong. We are ready. We are united, and that's what we did. We stayed united. We prepared extensively and carefully. We spent months building coalitions of other freedom-loving nations in Europe and the Americas, from America to the Asian and African continents, to confront Putin. Like many of you, I spent countless hours unifying our European allies. We shared with the world in advance what we knew Putin was planning and precisely how he would try to falsify and justify his aggression. We countered Russia's lies with the truth. And now that he's acted, the free world is holding him accountable, along with 27 members of the European Union, including France, Germany, Italy, as well as countries like the United Kingdom, Canada, Japan, Korea, Australia, New Zealand, and many others. Even Switzerland are inflicting pain on Russia and supporting the people of Ukraine.
David McCuan now, who's a professor and chair of the Department of Political Science at Sonoma State University, and he joins us now live from California. So, David, what did you think? Biden did make a couple of significant announcements for the matter at hand, the crisis in Ukraine. How significant do you think those will be? And the likelihood that this will be viewed as a moment of leadership for him?
Yeah, I mean, the State of the Union speech is noteworthy because it's always gone 24 hours afterward. It's usually not memorable. It's
Absolutely.
A laundry list,
Yeah.
which you saw here. And so the first part of the speech, which is actually a small part of the text that deals with Ukraine, that is noteworthy and notable. But that's all that matters. It's early morning in Kyiv, and what is happening over there trumps just everything else, to use a phrase. And that is the important component. So talking about the changes with airspace and prohibiting the Russian airliners and what happens there, that's important. Holding together the coalition, that's important. What NATO looks like and where we are headed, this discussion of totalitarianism versus democracy, all of that is what matters. He could have laid that out better, quite frankly. And as you mentioned there with Yasmin, look, midterm elections are usually really problematic for the party in power. So if you're Republicans, you don't really want to heal the rift between Vladimir Putin being admired by Donald Trump and what happens with the culture wars, because you're poised to enter and retake the House and the Senate this fall. All things to watch. Did Biden change that tonight? I wouldn't say he changed that dynamic that much with his speech, but it's hard to do that because of the State of the Union is that laundry list of things you'd like to have done.
And when we talk about the significance of this politically, of this moment for Biden to try to get past the disaster of the American pullout from Afghanistan and show real leadership here, you have a real confusion of sound in America. You have Democrats that are absolutely praising Biden's leadership right now, but you have some that are critical of it, saying that they think he could have done more, for example. You have Republicans criticizing him, but for different things. So there's a sort of split in the opinion of Republicans as well. Is it too early to tell what this will mean for Biden politically? Whether this will be a shining moment or another disaster? I mean, we don't even know what the outcome of the Russia-Ukraine conflict will be at this point.
Or whether Ukraine's going to be around in a week or two.
Right.
I mean, look, bipartisanship, if it lasts a month in the United States these days, that would be a big deal.
Right.
I don't know that we would see that. It's not likely to see that happen. And so can you keep that rolling forward while you're bringing forward a Supreme Court nominee in the midst of that midterm election year as well? All of these are challenges where last year the Biden team was unable to deal with multiple things going on. Can they handle that shift? They've done a pretty good job holding the coalition together. How long can they do that? In the near term, pretty well. But come, say, a month or two, what does that look like? And how does the dynamic change? And what happens with the projection of force? All of that are cards to be laid. We don't know how that is actually going to play out, but we do know that the administration has to do a better job because what it's done the last year, whether it's Afghanistan, Build Back Better, or some other foreign policy challenges, they've had a mixed bag so far. And that is, I think, a challenge for this administration. Can they pivot? And they have to pivot with a message to the midterm elections with Democrats on that base, and at the same time draw some contrast with Republicans. And that will be the challenge, because that's where the goals of Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, and the goals of the White House, they may actually not converge. They may diverge because the president may want to moderate and she may want to appeal to the progressive base and hold that on to the Democratic Party. That will be something to watch. Domestic politics mattering as much here as what's happening overseas.
Oh, absolutely. And Biden did have a few things that he could point to as accomplishments. He was certain to mention those and to try to expand those as much as possible. But the fact is, his approval rating has been extremely, extremely low. Would you say that that is largely to do with just kitchen table economics in America, as well as COVID? I mean, is there any getting past that for this administration as they go into midterms?
Right. So his approval rating sits, say, 37%, 40%. When approval rating's that low, the party in power loses dozens of seats. 50, 60 seats on average. That's far and away beyond those 5 seats that Democrats have in the House and a basically split Senate. Can he change that dynamic out of this based on these bread and butter pocketbook issues? The price of gas, the role of inflation. He might get a 4 or 5 point bump at best. And that's not a place to be in because he needs 10 points to get to a place where they can be competitive. I just don't see that happening. So how Democrats converge around that message with this White House and whether they defect from each other will be important. And that says nothing to say what happens in China, North Korea, the Middle East, Turkey, Europe, wherever that goes on. Those are events that always spin out of control and spin past the president and the control of the administration, the best laid plans going aside. That'll be something to watch for you and your viewers around the world.
Yep, excellent points. Thanks so much, David.
Thank you very much, Michelle.